Today's high-profile diplomatic push in Washington centered on a meeting in the Oval Office between President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The White House presented an upbeat view, with President Trump telling reporters he believes the war is going to end and urging leaders to give it our best in pursuing a settlement. European leaders who joined the talks, including Finland's president, voiced confidence that, with American backing, a negotiated end to Russia's invasion is possible. Supporters called the gathering a show of transatlantic unity and a potential turning point in efforts to halt the fighting. But analysts and diplomats cautioned that declarations and photo ops are only the beginning. Experienced mediators say a durable peace will require lengthy, multilateral negotiations, clear enforcement mechanisms, and sustained pressure on Moscow, not just high-profile statements. Previous diplomatic wins, like the recent Armenia-Azerbaijan agreement hosted at the White House, are cited by the administration as proof of concept. Yet experts warn the Russia-Ukraine conflict is far larger and more complex and will not be resolved by quick deals. Key questions remain unanswered. What security guarantees will Ukraine accept? How would any ceasefire be monitored and enforced? And what leverage would compel Russia to stick to the terms? Former diplomats and foreign policy scholars say Washington and its partners will need to craft credible incentives and penalties, while ensuring Kyiv's sovereignty and territorial claims are central to any agreement. Sources: The New York Times, The Guardian, Financial Times. Administration officials say the United States is offering to play a central role in convening talks and shaping security guarantees for Ukraine. President Trump has promoted himself as a peacemaker, and aides pointed to recent diplomatic successes as signs the White House can help broker complex agreements. Yet, even within Washington, there is debate over the specifics. The president has said he would not put U.S. troops on the ground to enforce a deal, though White House spokespeople have left open the possibility of U.S. air support as part of security assurances. That ambiguity has prompted concern among allies and critics alike. Experts stress that enforcement will be the hardest part. Peace plans typically rely on layered guarantees, international observers, phased demilitarization, economic and political incentives, and clearly defined consequences for violations. Without those elements and sustained diplomatic follow-through, any pause in the fighting could collapse. As one analyst put it, a successful settlement will require patience and a coalition willing to hold all parties to account, not just a headline-grabbing summit. Sources: The Guardian, The Hill, Financial Times. Political reactions were swift. Supporters hailed the talks as necessary and constructive. Critics warned against overpromising. President Trump has repeatedly claimed credit for ending multiple conflicts in the past, claims that reporters and analysts note are contested. European leaders traveled to Washington to ensure any U.S.-led initiative would not undercut Kyiv's negotiating position, while also signaling they are willing to work with the United States to pursue a settlement. Despite the optimistic tone, officials acknowledge the road ahead will be long. Diplomats say the next steps should include detailed back-channel negotiations, realistic timelines, and mechanisms to verify compliance. Any progress will depend on buy-in from Kyiv, Moscow, and a broad coalition of European partners willing to sustain diplomatic and economic pressure over time. For now, the White House's meeting has created momentum and raised expectations. But specialists warn that momentum needs to be converted into concrete, enforceable agreements if peace is to hold. Sources: New York Times, The Guardian, Financial Times, The Hill.